Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Khalik Darwish. Our life have the different stages. Childhood is a stage, and being a teenager is a stage. Being young, being teenager, being young, and being in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, being in the middle age, being in the being a senior citizen, being a very old city, being very being somewhat old citizen. So all of these stages, but the best one of all of these is being young. Everybody want to become young. Every old age person, everybody who have lived past the young age want to become young again. Being young is very, very important indeed, and it gives us a lot. It makes us full of life because the young people are full of life. We too want to become a full of life person, my dear friends and fellows. Look, let's try to become a young person for all those people who have lived past their youth, and there is a way to do that. And this is going to be the topic of our this discussion. And like always, we have chosen the beautiful article which is on the subject, and which is actually the opinion of an expert, which is actually the opinion of an expert. An expert is telling us how to live like a young person. And as for the caption of this beautiful article is concerned, the caption is, if you do these seven activities, you are a young person at heart. If you do these seven activities, you are a young person at heart, is the caption of the article. And it has been written by Amy Reed. Amy Reed, she is a well-known researcher and author, and the article of today is really a very good one. Let's look upon all of those seven habits, all of those seven activities which could make us live like a young person. First of all, she says being outdoor in nature, that is really important. Being close to the nature, and instead of keep sitting for indoors, instead of keeping ourselves inactive, it is far better to go outside, to be close to the nature and design our activities there in the nature. It really helps us becoming a young person, and that is the activity number one. There are six other activities. Let's look upon all those one by one. And the second activity is trying new things. Trying new things mean instead of keep doing the things which we have been doing since long, instead of keep doing the things which we have been doing since long, it is really important to do the things, to do the new things. That is really very useful. And new things, trying new things, that is really good. And it will create a kind of color in our life. Number three is playing with the animals. We can raise the pets, having a cat, a dog, or something like this one, and there are people who are keeping the exotic bird, any sort of bird, so but imprisoning the birds. Some of the birds are born in the cages that can be kept, and some of these are can be kept free, like the pigeons, etc. Some of the people are seen, raising the cattle. Cattle mean loving the cattle, so love the animals, because the animal live very, very close to the animal are not animal love the animal, and they will love you in response as well. And because their love is so good love. So the next is playing with the animal. This third activity is playing with the animal. The fourth activity is making new friends. Yes, we need to make the new friends. Making new friends is really important, and so that we could understand the new thing, we could come across the new activities and the new thing. So making new friends, it is really important, making new friends. And the fifth is doing anything creative for the sake of mind development, for the sake of psychological health. Doing anything creative, it could be painting, it could be knitting, it could be crocheting, it could be drawing, it could be gaming, or it could be writing a poetry. There are plenty and plenty and plenty of creative activities. We can start any of these, and any of these are some of these, but as for doing any creative activity is concerned, that is so much important really. And that was the number 5. Number 6 is living for the here and now. Living for the here and now, and doing the things, some of the things in a spontaneous manner. Living for the here and now. So instead of keep thinking about the past was a good or a bad one. Instead of keep thinking for the past, it is really important to live for the here and now, instead of thinking about the future for most of the time, or for having the regrets of the past, instead of having the fears of the future. It is very important to live for the here and now. And the seventh and the last activity is getting into trouble. Getting into trouble. So what is this thing, by the way, getting into the trouble? What we hear in our society, the way we can interpret is, it is trying to do the things in the new way instead of using the old way. It is really useful, beneficial, that we try the new ways, at least the things which are not very crucial, at least the things which are not that much important. So we can try new ways of doing the thing. In this way, on the one hand, we will be discovering the new and the beautiful ways. We will be discovering the new and the beautiful ways of doing the thing. On the other hand, my dear friends and fellows, it will develop a kind of creativity, and it will keep us busy, it will keep our mind busy. It is one of the very useful activities to do the things in a new way. That was really a very useful, a very beneficial article on the subject. And the caption of this article was, if you do these 7 activities, you are a young person at heart. This beautiful article has been written by Ammy Reed, and let me quickly revise all those 7 activities. The first one is, of course, being outdoor in nature, and the second one is trying new things, and third is playing with the animals. The fourth is making new friends. The fifth is doing anything creative for the sake of mind development, for the sake of psychological health, and like painting, knitting, crocheting, drawing, games, writing, poetry, etc., etc. There are plenty and plenty and plenty of other activities as well, which can be carried on as an activity, as a creative activity. And the sixth is living for the here and now, and living for the here and now, instead of living in the past, and having the regrets about the past, instead of thinking about the fears of the future. It is really important to live for the here and now. And the seventh and the last is getting into trouble. And the way I have interpreted this thing, getting into trouble, is that try to do the things in the new way, and particularly the things which are not very crucial, not very important. And these things can be done in the new way, for the purpose of creating the creativity and ingenuity. Using our ingenuity, it will develop our mind really. It will increase our IQ, our creativity level, and it can really bring color to our life. By trying the new ways of doing the thing, we will be sometime discovering certain important, useful, beneficial thing. And this was so. Thank you very much.